about you, Greg. We didn't talk about this, but I was just blown away. I'm going to go positive here. These two gentlemen, because they behaved like gentlemen, were really
Yes, they did.
working through some points from both sides that we could work on together. And I was impressed. I was really impressed with what I watched last night.
I said it was a masterclass. JD Vance, 100% masterclass in debate. It really was. It was exactly what that side of the ball needed, and I think that the points were all on that side. I think the Tim Wells pee dance that he kept doing is just it's just unbecoming of somebody that is going to sit next to and be one basically chicken bone away from the White House. I had no confidence in Tim Wells, but I think that more of the canned speeches and things that they said, it was how they delivered it and how they said it. Right. It was everything that needed to be told.
Yeah, it was
Mike,
so
I'll
simple.
be transferring. Obviously signing off to your own show here, but I had one question for you personally when I watched this debate. I said, Vance showed me what I kind of get frustrated with Trump. He showed me like you say, the master class, the statistics, keeping it clinical and simply. I keep saying whenever I hear a bipartisan immigration bill, I always say, do you know they're guaranteeing 5,000 illegals per day? Did you know about that? Do you know that they're trying to make sure that no future president can cancel it with an executive order? Did you know that? And Vance nails on this stuff. Really, really well. I'll turn it over to you and wanted your thoughts on that, at how, to me, good he was and still being personable.
Yes, and relatable. I think if I get pulled over by a police officer and ask me how fast I was going, I'm going to say, well, I was born in a middle class neighborhood. That's basically, I'm hoping that works. I doubt it will. But the man did say, I did grow up in a middle class neighborhood. My mom was an addict. I was raised by my grandmother, who I was in the military, GI Bill. Like, they did everything that guy said was the yin to Trump's yang. And that's we know now after the debate last night exactly why the Trump team picked JD Vance, because he has the same spine as Trump. He can deliver more articulately. And I'm not saying that Trump is falling in mental faculties. I'm saying that Trump has always been Trump. He's always spoken that way. He's always said, quite literally, everyone agrees in the whole world, instead of JD Vance saying 73% of these people say this. Yes.
Right. So and don't let anyone tell you differently. There's some Democrats and some media folks that are a little scared right now after watching Vance, because no one's giving him a fair shake and just listen to him.
MSNBC took turns at complimenting Tim Walz, and it was so funny. Oh, no one speaks more articulately in the Democrat Party. I'm like, I have a handful that do, right off the top of my head. So yeah.
I'll let you go. Val, go ahead.
It was, you guys, it was so respectful, though. I mean, obviously Vance he cleaned the house, but more Democrats are coming over to our side based on how it was presented, and that conduct between the two. I found it was excellent. It was needed. It was a breath of fresh air. It was great.
Because it's a battle of hearts and minds of the independents is what it is. And I think that Val, I think is a very well stated point, is that's the Republicans do speak articulately, and they're not a bunch of blowhards. So yeah. Okay. All right. I'm with you.
Shout out here, Mike, to your nice folks. Rhonda Crawford's in the house. Truman Reynolds. Truman. He's a smart guy. He's in the house. We kind of got overlapping audiences. How cool. Shout out to you guys. Welcome. Boy, I sure hope we see Grizz here any minute, right? He always shows up. So I'll turn it over to
if we say something inappropriate, some kind of radar will go off with Grizz and he'll pop right in there.
What people don't know about Grizz, I've shouted him out on the air. He's a veteran.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, and Mike, he's had his ass kicked in life.
Yes, he has.
Yeah. And he's also from West Seattle. I mean, we kind of
we don't hold it against him.
Stopping. Good. Dude, what a grease fire up there with King County.
He was part of the Chaz.
Dude, I'm going to turn it to Val here. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Wrap our show and introduce Mike. Mike, God love you, man. So awesome to hear you here. We finally got some talent brought to the table. We got Mike Russell.
Yeah, keep the bar set low.
This is Secrets from the Inside Radio Network, and now it's time for Other News.
All right, let's jump right in here. Thanks, you guys, for allowing me the time, and to me and my co-host Bob Ross. We will get you all caught up on everything. Kind of what we just touched on. I like to stick outside of the Trump and Harris sphere as much as I can, but it is what it is. We are in probably the most, I would say, interesting, to be nice, a very interesting time in election that we've seen in this country, at least to our knowledge. I'm sure back in the day there were some, some gunfights and some cool stuff like that. But in recent memory, in recorded memory, that we're in the throes of this. And last night, obviously, was a huge piece of this puzzle when no one really cares what a VP debate has ever been in the past. It wasn't. It didn't move the needle. I think last night we moved some needles, and there were, outside of the masterclass that JD Vance put on for all of us to watch and represented, I think as Val put it, or she was getting to and alluding to, a solid representation of what we, the conservative people, are, who we, the conservative people, are, and exactly how we have how we've carried ourselves and conducted ourselves while watching a train wreck of the Marjorie Taylor Greens and a train wreck of the Matt Gaetzes. And that's not how we work, who we are as a JD Vance. We're studied. We make sure we get our facts right. And if we screw up, fine. And if we want to give shout outs to the other side, we will give shout outs to the other side. We will compliment them when it is around. What's up, Brendan? What's up, Truman? Good to see you, Jim. Rhonda. How's everybody doing? This is kind of a simulcast we'll be doing with Val and Greg, and I'm very excited about this and the opportunity to be here and just go. Let's go. So let's make it happen. Last night, I'm going to, I don't know if Val's still around. I'm going to attempt my darndest to play some video. So we're gonna give that a try. I didn't want to test it backstage if it would have broadcast over their stuff. So we're gonna play together as we do this for the first time. We're going to play together and learn kind of as we go. But here's what I wanted to talk about when it came to the debates is what, not the point counterpoint, because the point counterpoint wasn't even funny. It wasn't even fair. It was buttoned up Ivy League debate scholar versus a guy that's completely in over his head, and Tim Walz. So we can play clips about that. Here's a few things that I want to hone in on. And one is, if you know me, I study body language. Body language is is as important as what you're saying. So me, I when I got my 23andMe back, when I got my DNA, I thought for sure I would be a lot more than 1% Italian because I speak with my hands. That's why I study body language. What I saw last night was a man that was afraid to be there. I saw in Governor Walz somebody who was afraid to be on that stage next to someone who clearly outguns him in every way. Record outguns him. American values outguns him. Debate style, speech, looks, everything outguns him. And what we saw was a man who, every time eye contact was made, and he kept looking over to JD Vance, kept looking at JD. When JD made eye contact with him, Tim dropped his head. Okay, that's submissive. Dropped his head and started acting like he's taking notes. Was he taking notes? I don't think so. Because he's older than me, and at 49 years old, it takes me longer to write a thought out than when he just went like this. The reason that's important, Mike, maybe he's not comfortable in debate. Maybe he's not comfortable in the limelight. You are going to be the leader of the free world, the co-leader of the free world on a global stage. You better damn well be able to be next to someone of power that is outgunning you and not look like you're doing the pee-pee dance the entire time. He was so fidgety. JD Vance was stoic and calm. And as Greg brought an amazing counterbalance to Donald Trump as running mate. It gave, and as Val brought in, it brought this calm, I think, to the center-right base, and it opened the eyes of a lot of the undecided moderates and independents that think, okay, Okay, this is not going to be a completely off the rails, oh, we didn't expect that to happen, first run that President Trump had. This might be a little bit more, I guess he did have Pence, right? He had Pence, but that wasn't a good counterbalance. That was more of a, what do we call that? A sleeping pill. Yeah, that wasn't Pence was NyQuil to the Trump team, is what that was. And if that's balance they need, that's balance they need. But JD, I think, did a bang up job. But Tim Walz, his body language said everything that needed to be said, because what he was reading in his counterpoints that he had. What's up, Gene? His counterparts. His counterpoints were it's just words on paper. It just. And by the way, who after the last debate had any confidence that this debate was even on the up and up? That he didn't have all the questions ahead of time. I credit JD Vance for fact checking a fact check. Say, hey, listen, y'all said you weren't doing the fact check thing, but you just fact checked me, so let me respond. And he did, and he didn't take no for an answer. What did MSNBC do? Took that as him mansplaining over the female moderators. How dare he? I won't say my favorite meme from the day. I'm not going to say my favorite meme from the day. Okay, it was JD Vance versus 3 females. Okay, we're going to move on. So let's see if I can play any of this. Let's give it a try. So we are going to share a video file, and we're going to go. This is Tim Walz, one of the probably the roughest parts of the evening. Let me give you this here. And we're going to hopefully add it to stage. Here we go. Nope. Root from studio. All right. I don't think I can play the audio. There we go. Thank you.
You said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989.
Too much fun.
But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year.
And the cool thing about that is, you know what that means? That means that, no, you weren't there. Not media reports or media outlets are reporting. Dude, you weren't there. All right, let's go back to the question and the answer, and we'll jump on that here. Let's see if we can get him back here. Tim Walz, por favor. All right, we'll get the audio. There you go.
Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17. Worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill to become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China.
Where are you at Tiananmen Square?
To try and learn. Now, look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that.
You don't talk too good.
Elected me to Congress for 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done,
tampons and
veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything, many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID, and I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community, and then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand.
Okay, that's enough of this bozo. Are you kidding me? God bless JD Vance for just looking over at him and say, yeah, you know what, dude, I have no idea. We didn't start a trade war. Trade war didn't happen. We sure as hell didn't lose the trade war. No, we didn't lose a trade war. The government has kept all of those sanctions in place and is raking billions. Our government didn't lost a trade war. Boy, you done lost your mind. How many trips to China did it take for you to lose your bleeping mind? You lost your soul because you sold it. You're a sellout. Donald Trump should have gone, wouldn't have been praising Xi Jinping when you have the Biden-Harris administration. This is something I'm going to get to in just a moment. But when you have the Biden administration claiming, I've been on a plane more hours with Xi Jinping than his wife, or whatever the hell Biden wants to rattle on about. But Biden talks about Xi Jinping all the time. Donald Trump says, I don't see him as an adversary. I just see him as somebody who's taking advantage of us, and we're just going to recalibrate the system. That's it. That's all we're going to do. We're going to recalibrate it so we make the money. So they don't make the money, we make the money. That's what America First is. And that's why he will win again in just a few short weeks. This is a wonderful, wonderful example of a team. And I say team, the Harris Walls team is not I don't even know the last time I saw the two of them together. Maybe it's the day they announced that he was going to be the running mate. But she even has to distance herself. They have to distance themselves from each other in their lies. And then exactly what they do on a daily basis on the campaign trail is this nonsense. I love it how J.D. Vance said that he had to play, he actually felt sorry for Tim Walz, that he had to play whack-a-mole because he constantly had to lie about Donald Trump's record. He had to lie about Donald Trump's record on the economy. He had to lie about Donald Trump's record on jobs. And now he has to lie about Kamala Harris's record as vice president. Here's what wasn't brought up, which I needed. I wish it could have been brought up. And it needed to be brought up. Is that the one excuse that all of this can be splained away with, the one excuse, Kamala Harris wasn't the president for the last 3.5 years. They're right. And for a lot of people and a lot of independents, this was a lot of independents. This is something that they will believe. They're like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? You know what? She wasn't president. I mean, she was a vice president. Probably the most useless job in government. So yeah, okay. I'm not really gonna put all this on her. What needs to be pointed out regularly is that this is the first administration. It was never the Obama-Biden administration. It was the Obama administration, right? It was not the W. Cheney administration. It was not the Clinton-Gore administration. It was the Clinton administration. It was the Bush administration. It was the Obama administration. This, for the first time, as they painted themselves into the worst political corner you can, made sure that it was always referred to as the Biden-Harris administration. Biden-Harris administration. At every turn, at every single turn, they made sure that you knew that Kamala Harris was the last one in the room, that she was the last one that's going to be around. She was making the decisions. You ask her about that on Afghanistan, the pullout of Afghanistan, the disaster at Abbey Gate, the thousands of lives, people murdered in the streets during their disastrous pullout of Afghanistan, leaving billions of dollars in really, really nice American military equipment behind. You ask her, were you the last person? Yes, I was. Yes, I was. So this was your call for this withdrawal, right? Well, I was born in a middle-class neighborhood. They painted themselves the Biden-Harris administration. They can't walk away from it. So that's the one piece of this whole puzzle that I was missing. I'm going to say that JD didn't bat 1,000, but JD bat 990 easily. That one little component to just say, stop running from your record when you made it Kamala Harris's record. You made it her record. This is on you. You had an opportunity to not make this about Kamala Harris. You had an opportunity to just say she was a solid VP. She kept her mouth shut and she just played a game, which every vice president does. Keep your mouth shut, play the game. Now you're top dog for a run for president. And she could have easily, had they just called it the Biden administration, She could have said, that was Joe's administration. This is going to be my administration. And she would have been in better shape. So people need to start pointing that out on the public stage instead of just, well, we're not going to have any more debates. God bless Don. President Trump was asked about his refusal to do 60 Minutes. He goes, I'm not refusing to do 60 Minutes. I want to do 60 Minutes. I love 60 Minutes. Because I just need an apology from them. I want an apology. I went back and watched half of that interview this morning, and my chin was on the floor. I was blown away by how absolutely biased and rude that interview was. And I can handle that. I can handle biased and rude interviews. I get them. Hell, sometimes I give them. Not rude. I'm not really a rude guy. But this was over the top. And I think it was the reason why when Donald Trump was the only candidate that showed up to the National Association of Black Journalists meeting, or whatever it was, their conference, that he called it out. He's like, I'm not going to do the 60 Minutes crap again. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about why y'all made me wait 30 minutes. Y'all showed up late. And the first question you ask me is something completely framed into, are you still racist? Yes or no? It's absolutely absurd. Rhonda brings up the way JD kept looking at the camera last night was fantastic, directly in the camera. I'm talking to you. And remember, and I want you to go back and look at this when you see it, when he made eye contact with Governor Walz. I'm trying to be respectful with Governor Walz. I'm not calling it Tampon Tim. Not going to call him that all the time. When he looked at Governor Walz looked down immediately like he was acting. Was, oh, okay. Don't make eye contact because you start sweating and doing your little pee-pee dance. The man is not ready by any stretch. J.D. Vance is quite literally ready to grab the reins of the free world, have something happen to Donald Trump. Say something. If something, God forbid it happening, if something were happening to President Trump, J.D. Vance is ready in a moment. But like my very good friend says, nobody votes for vice president. And that is true. That is true. Nobody votes for vice president. Nobody shows up and says, geez, J.D. Vance is the reason why I'm voting for Donald Trump. No. But they sure as hell will say, Tim Walz is the reason I'm not voting for Kamala. Then all the standard, just scripted actors nonsense of here we have our undecided voter panel. Did tonight's debate change anyone's mind? Some schleprock holds his hand up and he's like, oh, yeah. And this guy's right out of Soy Boy Central Casting. I mean, everything except for the man bun. And he said, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because J.D. Vance didn't give a straight answer on January 6th. I like it. Let me just say this now that I have a different audience than I usually do every day at this time. And my people, I love having you here. God, it's so good to see y'all. No one cares. The country quite literally does not care about January 6th. So much so that when it was brought up that Nancy Pelosi on camera said we were just waiting for this kind of trespassing thing. We were waiting. We wanted this. And then she said that it not having a National Guard was on her. And now we have the FBI saying, yeah, we had some assets in there. We might tell you who they were after the election. No one cares. Like we saw it and we're like, yeah, we knew. We knew the feds had assets in the crowd, egging everybody on. We knew. We knew Nancy Pelosi was excited about this. We knew. And we also knew that Nancy Pelosi turned down the guard when she denied it. We knew. But we don't care. Look, we none of us, independents, conservatives, could not care less. We couldn't care less about January 6th. January 6th and how a Republican answers any account of January 6th holds as much weight as this light remote that I have. Nothing. We don't care. Yeah, Rhonda says when J6 came up, you rolled your eyes. Collectively. I think people that weren't watching the debate heard a collective American eye roll at that moment and said, oh, wait, I think I'm missing the debate. I gotta go check that thing out. I got to tell you, I didn't watch the debate. I would be very honest with you because I knew I would have what I needed to have watching Twitter. So I was watching X the entire time. So I was getting clips, and more importantly, I was getting reactions, because it does not matter what I see on a screen. To this job, it doesn't matter what I see on a screen, because y'all know my opinion. Okay. Yeah, I'm an open book. I wanted the opinion of people watching. That's more important to me, and not some paid actor panel of undecided voters. They think we're so stupid. But watching, and I'm going to, I have no problem talking about race, just so everybody's cool with that. I have zero problem talking about race. None. Watching the black posts, watching the posts from black men and women during this on Twitter had me rolling, absolutely rolling. Because again, nobody votes for vice president, but a vice president can completely derail a campaign. And if you're talking about black male voters, Tim Walz just jacked it up. Because I want you to be very clear. I am a man, and I am unapologetic about being a man. You know who else holds that sentiment? The vast majority of black men in this country. We're men. And when we see somebody in a potential second to highest leadership role in the world, like Tim Walz, we all react the same. I was just seeing the X. I mean, they're just funnier than I am. That's just all there is to it. Whatever black men were posting on X last night, I was dying. You're so much funnier than I am. Holy cow. But men, and by the way, we're not going to run. We're not going to tuck tail and head for the hills on this. Ooh, toxic masculinity. Yep. I am as masculine as I can possibly be. If you're going to call that toxic, call that toxic. But that's the reason why I can talk about race. Because I'm a grown-up, and I talk like grown-ups. The term J6 is more relevant to most people these days who are trying to find a concert or airline seat. It's true. J6 or bingo halls. J6 is bingo halls. Oh, there's no J in bingo. Is there? I don't play bingo. It's just B-I-N-G-O, right? And bingo is the name of it? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, yes, it's B6 would be, but yes, correct. You're funnier than I am too, Brendan. So this is the way it goes. We see it, we saw it, and there's, unfortunately, we can play clip after clip after clip after clip of the debate last night. Here's what we're gonna run into. B-I-N-J-O. Thank you very much. See, Brendan always has my back. I appreciate you. B-I-N-J-O. Sometimes it's a hard J. But we all saw it last night. The media is going to run from it. MSNBC was pulling a muscle reaching for any of this. Jose, you're right. Vance owned the debate. But MSNBC, CNN pulling muscles, trying to stretch to find a way that Wells actually even performed well in that last night. So it wasn't there. Let's get on to this because you're not going to see any more of this. The mainstream media will quite literally paint over this as if it never happened. They checked it off of a box. We survived last night, so they would say, we got past it. Let's move on to ripping on Donald Trump. But let us move on to something more important. Wildly more important than the debate last night is we're now in the second day of a strike that will... You think inflation was bad coming out of the pandemic? Wait till you see inflation. If this doesn't get resolved, the strike for the longshoremen, the entire East Coast of the United States, every piece of land that faces east is now shut down to shipping. And what I saw last night in truckers that are just arriving with their shipment, they're not longshoremen. They're actually, they get paid by the mile, paid by time, however they're paid. They need to get their shipment offloaded so they can get the heck up to the next one. They have no dog in this hunt. See them getting lambasted, yelled at, screamed at, seeing fights at the gates. As disgusting is exactly what I was expecting when we saw the union boss out there talking about, we shut everything down in the world. Okay. Here's what you have now. You have slappy moves like fighting truckers at the gates, and you have a union boss who is probably the most unsympathetic character I've seen since Kamala Harris. I mean, he is winning no one No one. His craptastic attitude towards we the people, his callous nature to we the people and our plight and what is going to happen to us and what this is going to do. Yeah, now they're going to see who we are. We knew who you were. You were overpaid union people that did damn near nothing, at least in my experience on the West Coast and in Port of Long Beach. Sorry, we knew who you were the whole time. We knew that a robot and a machine could do your job like that. That's why part of their contract is no automation, because they understand that. Whatever happened to that? The Obama administration, I mean, the Biden administration, same thing. To Obama's third term. Whatever happened to the whole, yeah, they're going to go get green new jobs and new jobs in a new economy. Okay, good. Automate the ports so they don't strike, so we don't have this again, and they can go off to get green jobs. I think I have a problem solved right there. And I would be if it were a man talking to me like a man. Hey, listen, our counterparts on the West Coast, they got a heck of a deal. And, it's tough for me as a boss. It's tough for me as a boss to work with my guys and my girls. They're out there working hard. They really are. I mean, people think longshoremen, not really too tough of a gig, but I tell you, they work hard. They're honest people. They do an honest day's work, and they're looking for an honest day's pay. So our counterparts on the West Coast, they got this kind of a deal. We're just looking for something like that. So everybody's playing in the same field and it's all good. And then we'll get everything back to going. We don't even have to shut this stuff down. But if we have to, because of corporate greed, that won't at least pay us what we were, what our West Coast counterparts get. Let me get some coffee so my mouth works. Our West Coast counterparts, told you it works, are getting, okay, we're going to have to strike. But talk to me that way. Talk to me that way. I want to hear that from you. I want to hear that from the longshoremen. I want to hear that from the union bosses. Hey, guys, you understand, right? I mean, if you're at your job and your buddy in the office next door gets paid so much more than you and you all do the same amount of work, do the same damn job, you might want to say, hey, can we let's make this fair. Let's definitely make this fair. 77% over 6 years is insane. And I think that Rhonda, that's the demand that they're looking for, because they've already turned down 50% over 8 years. And their West Coast counterparts got 32% over 4 years. I can't read my own writing. 4 is Tim Wells. I'm sorry. They're watching me. 32% over 4 years, and which I think is insanely fair. Or you know what? What you do? Yeah, this is what I would say. I would say, and we're going to go retroactively, I want my pay increase annexed to inflation. That'll shut a lot of people up fast. That will expose a lot of things fast. Here in Arizona, that's where I am. Great state of Arizona. I love my state. Our minimum wage is annexed to inflation. So there are a lot of people in the last not a lot of people. There's not a lot of people, by the way, that are actually making minimum wage. I want you to understand that it's a small percentage of people, of hourly employees, that make actual minimum wage, except for the last 3.5 years, because the last 3.5 years, minimum wage went up and up and up and up and up and up and up because it was indexed to inflation. Annexed to inflation, indexed to inflation. One of those. Tied up to inflation. And and everybody got a raise. So let's do the same thing with longshoremen. Retroactively, that's fine. What they're going to get is probably a 20% increase, boom, right off the top retroactively. And then if inflation goes up and down, as does your salary. I'm about that 100%. But this, you need to pay me more, is going to end up same thing happening with UPS. UPS strong-armed the Biden administration. Biden administration stepped up, and now their drivers are making 6 figures apiece. I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I mean, they're driving giant metal cans in the middle of summer here in Phoenix without air conditioning. I mean, dude, okay, you're doing something no one else wants to do. Hey, $100,000, fantastic, good for you. But they had to lay off thousands of workers because the pay for their drivers went up. So longshoremen are going to get the same thing, or it's going to cost more to ship things, which is going to pass on the cost to us, which inflation is going to be impacted that way too. Yeah. Walmart's, Rhonda said, if Walmart can automate, so can the ports. That's why they're saying no automation. They're saying basically you can give us 100% increase in pay today. If automation is tied to it, no. Because they understand their job can be done by a machine. The majority of them. It's the truth. And that's called progress. That's called societal advancement. It's what it is. It's the right trajectory. And so for somebody to be a tough guy and I'm a union guy and I'm going to show America what this is about when we shut down and how important we are. Dude, I want you replaced with a robot. I don't care about you, dude, because you just said into a camera, you don't care about me. I don't care about my kids. You don't care about what it costs to put groceries in the refrigerator and put a girl through college. Thank God intern Beans, my daughter, did this. She got a scholarship. That's my girl. But it takes a bunch. And by the way, don't give me this garbage that college is free either. She's on a full ride scholarship, and I'm still stroking checks $1,000 at a time. Holy mackerel, parking, this and that. Scam college has become. It's become an absolute money-making scam. Time, another day. Talk about that. As a matter of fact, let's talk about this. This is our show. We can do whatever the hell we want. So longshoreman, to put that to bed, is going to lead to what Hillary Clinton called out last week, the October surprise. I'm going to get to college in just a minute because I don't want to skip this. The October surprise is this. Mark my words. You can save this piece of the audio, save this piece of the show, tweet it out. Do we say it or we say exit out? We don't say exit out. We got to talk to Elon about this X thing. By the way, he's coming up with Xmail to combat Gmail and an X search engine. Should call it Zoogle. XOOG. No, I like Zoogle. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, the October surprise. The October surprise is this. This strike is going to hurt. It's going to start hurting our economy badly. Bigly is going to start hurting our economy. So what do? You put Kamala at the head of a conference table, situation room, whatever it is. Union bosses all in there for their photo op. Kamala's at the head of the table. Strike ends. Strike ends with your tax dollars subsidizing basically a bunch of shakedown mafia people. Kamala Harris saved the economy. Kamala Harris saved the day. That's your October surprise. The October surprise is a big giant W for the Kamala the hero, right? There's a big giant W for that campaign in the Democrat Party, period. Republicans weren't stepping up. Republicans want the economy. Kamala Harris stepped up and blah, blah. The only thing that will save us from that, is Kamala being Kamala. She won't be able to pull the scene off. Being serious. They put her in the situation room for Hurricane Helene. They put her in the situation room so she would look. She was in there with FEMA, so she would look like she's in charge and she's really got this. Couldn't even pull that off. Couldn't pull it off. So that would be the only thing that would save us from that attempt at an October surprise. The best thing that could possibly happen for that is if Donald Trump actually went and sat down with the union bosses and said, let's get this worked out. Could you imagine? Oh, yeah. But that's not why they're striking. They're striking to get Kamala elected, and they're striking as a shakedown. Is it because, again, the union boss said the quiet part out loud. He said the quiet part out loud when he said, we got you. We took care of you all these years. It's time for you to take care of us. He's talking to the Democrat Party. We got you elected. We gave you your power. We gave you your keys to the money-making scam that Congress has become. We gave that to you. It's time for you to pay us back. Okay. Okay, all right. Well, Truman says, I believe they would have potentially underestimated Kamala Harris's ability to pull off a gift-wrapped deal like that. It's up in the air. She's a 50-50 at all time. 50-50. And you're right, Ron, it is a plan. This is a plan. It's all scripted out. Let's get back to college, shall we? I was excited when I realized that my daughter was who my daughter was, and she was going to graduate with not one but 2 associate's degrees from high school. And going into college, I mean, she's wrapping up right now this year at Northern Arizona University, Go Jacks, at age 19. It's pretty impressive. I'm so proud of her. I thought that the scholarship that she got, which was full ride tuition, was going to be the end of it. I told her, I have a certain amount of money saved up for your college, and this is whatever you don't use is yours at the end of your college. Or if you want to use it to grad school, which you'll want to do, if you're going to use it for grad school, this is your money. She's an academic. Thanks, Brendan. An academic savage. She is. And I go with the Dana White parenting rule. You tell your kids, if you are the least, just the tiniest bit savage, you're going to run through all these soy boys that are just graduating, these little frat boys that are graduating from ASU right now. You will just mow them down. Yeah. Yeah. Picture of a guy that Trump shaking hands, by the way. Pictures of that guy. Who's that guy? Who's that guy, Lynn? Lynn says there's a picture of that guy shaking Trump's hand. Okay. Anyway, let me know. But the scam that is college is so much further than just the indoctrination. And if you look at, there are, I believe, 4 of the top studies, the fields of studies or degrees that you could get in the United States at the collegiate level. I believe 4 or 5 of them now are at 100% Democrat. So getting past the indoctrination part, I know we really can. We get past the indoctrination part. We're good like this. You look at the money-making scam that it has been for our United States government. It has been a tax on people that do the right thing. And if you start looking more and more, you're going to find more taxes on people that just do the right thing. Right? I take care of myself. I think I'm in decent shape for a 49-year-old man. I have to pay more insurance I have to pay more in insurance because of people that don't take care of themselves. So here's what this government scam is. College, you get a degree, degree or nothing. Degree is the opportunity. You're going to make so much more money when you get out, which is a lie. Here we're going to hand you $50,000 or $100,000. And you're going to go give it to a university that is going to indoctrinate you to our ways. But you're going to go get a university. And we know damn well that the majority of you won't even finish college, but you're still going to owe us that money. So the universities say, wait a second. What if we raise the rates of tuition? What if we make everything cost more? How about parking as $1,500 per semester? How about we make it that? How about a food plan that would be like us eating at Morton's Steakhouse every night expensive? How about we make that for some chicken nuggets? We make that a $5,000 plan. Let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, so my son is so pissed about the college scam. It's tough, Rhonda. It really is. While the university, thank you, Brendan, while the university is being fed subsidies. So the university gets subsidies. They get to raise up their rates because government's giving the money away for free. And then when the kids don't graduate or graduate, that you have to pay that piper. You have to pay that money back. The interest on those loans are one of the biggest revenue streams for the United States government. Only when they're not buying votes, when they're using it and canceling it to buy votes or suspending it, whatever the hell they do to buy votes, then that's a thing. College, until the government gets their hands out of it, and only private school loans are available, not government-backed school loans. Only then will college become affordable. That's it. That 1 year where it's only private, by the way, with those private loans, actually vet each of these people. Can you pay this back? What is the potential? What is the degree you're going into? What is the potential for you to pay this loan back? The government just, basically just does this little thing right here and just, do you have a pulse? You got a pulse? Cool. Here's your $100,000. But if I am a young person, like this beautiful young lady I watched a video on yesterday, and I come up with this, game-changing invention, I can't get a $10,000 loan, $20,000 small business loan out of high school, but I can get a $100,000 student loan. Let me tell you about this. Oh, Truman, don't even get me started on books, brother. Oh, my beautiful girl, my intern Beans. Again, we have money saved for this. But she calls me up. It was a week or so ago. And she said, Dad, I just can't anymore. I got to go get a book for one of my classes. It's $80. I'm like, okay, go. The A sucks that it's $80. No, it's $180. Sucks that it's $180, but okay, go get it. But why'd you wait this long? She goes, I was holding out as long as I could. She goes, I thought I might be able to get through the semester without buying it. I'm like, okay, I love you. You're so your dad's child. But okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then before she got off the phone, I said, wait, Beans, listen. The author of the $180 book that you're buying, does that happen to be the same name as your professor? She goes, yeah, all of mine are. I said, why don't you say that again? Did you say all of your professors, the textbook is their book that you have to spend $180 on? Absolutely fleecing our children and American families with this. Absolutely crushing them. Then my daughter calls me up again. And for those of you who haven't seen me before, I'm Mike Russell. How you doing? This is in other news. We talk about everything. We talk about all life here, and including my life as a dad. And she called me this. I'm having a difficult time because I want to be a marine biologist more than anything. And I always laugh. I always say, you're going to be the only 6-year-old girl that says, I want to be a marine biologist. I want to work with dolphins. That actually sees their way all the way through that and becomes a doctor and a doctor of biological sciences. She said, I don't know if, she goes, what if Kamala gets elected? And it was like, okay, all right, let's flesh that out. She goes, I don't think I will be able to make enough money in my chosen field to survive another 4 years, Dad, was when I'll go out into the real world. If inflation continues and prices continue to rise like this, housing continues to go down like this, she goes, I don't know how I'll pull it off. It's a 19-year-old thinking like this. 19-year-old. I mean, she's got a science mind, so she analyzes things. But I was like, no, baby, follow your dreams. In the back of my head, I'm going, she's right. She's right. How is she? Inflation, by the way, is not going down. The rate of inflation, here we go again. Give me some coffee. Here we go. Inflation increases are going down. So instead of 20% is 15%. You can't say, oh, inflation is down 5%. No, the rate of price increase is slowing down by 5%. So you flesh that out and extrapolate that out to 4 years from now. I don't know how hell I'll survive. And how is a kid going to survive? I mean, she said this, look, if I'm going to get a doctorate, I'm going to be a doctor, a real doctor. I'm going to be a real doctor. I have to make real money. And then I started talking to her about that. I was like, malpractice insurance, overhead, staff. I was like, just there's a lot of things to think about. Yeah. Yeah. It's Mark Lee's why I question. Then you go in Lynn, there is a rise when he said all of this malarkey. Shout out to Biden there, is why I questioned the need to go to college. I have questioned the need to go to college since I had children. And if you ask my kids, I don't say the word college. I said post-high school education. So I said post-high school education. You can get a post-high school education at ABC truck driving school. Don't care. That's a post-high school education. We're saving money for that. You will be able to do that. And that's important. And I hope that's important to everybody. And it is to them, and they understood. They're like, my son said, I might just want to go, use the GI Bill. I might want to, just go into the military, get in the reserves, have that paid for, and whatever, dad saved for college, I will, I'll go ahead and use that to start my own business or whatever the heck it is. And I can have college for free and still have that money to start my own business. See, kids are thinking, but you have to get away from that mindset. It's the same as a house, guys. I was in real estate for 15 years. So when you tell me this, you'll see me smile every time you say it. When you say the American dream of owning a home. Okay. I own a couple. So I understand that there is benefits to owning a home. I do get that. When the government and the banking industry started to advertise it as and sell you, propagandize you into seeing it as the American dream, that's when they started making the money. Yeah, it's like that old saying, and that's when the big bucks start rolling in. You see, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, government entities gobbled up the loans. Now they're making money on every piece of interest you're shelling out. Oh, we'll give you a tax break. You do that math. It's very hard, unless you bought a home at the bottom of the market or near the bottom of the market, it's very hard to run a profit and loss statement on owning a home and seeing you come out in the black. It's hard. It's difficult. But it was sold to you as the American dream, just like college is the ultimate opportunity for a great life and an unlimited income. Such a great life you will see. You will have such a wonderful life. It's going to be great if you just go to college, learn how to keg stand. Yes. Learn how to take weird types of shots. Yay. Experiment in drugs. Woo. Go to football games. Yay. But you're gonna have a hell of a career as a barista. Yes. My son is in trade, says Rhonda. I can't afford to move out. Got it. He makes more money at 26 than I did at 26. Yeah, is able to live in your own place. Exactly. I remember here in Arizona, the great state of Arizona, our former attorney general was Mark Brnovich. Mark was a friend and kind of had a politics after the run for Senate or governor. I forget what the hell he's running for. I haven't heard from much of him since. Anyway, he got his law degree from Arizona State. No, I know there's a lot of jokes here, but he got his law degree from Arizona State. Spending $650 a semester and working part-time, paying for his own way. You could do that back in those days, but way back in the 80s, right? Way back in the 80s. Okay, this is a good question from Lynn as well. What good does it go to truck driving school when there's nothing to haul because of the strikes? Actually, it's probably good to go to truck driving school right now because there's going to be an influx of business after the strikes. If you can't learn to do pro level solo keg stands, don't even get in the game. I did one keg stand. I think it was on my 40th birthday. That was what I did, a keg stand on my 40th birthday. I'm still injured. I think I tore a rotator. I think I was doing it wrong. I don't know. Anyway, but that's it. It's the same scam that is perpetrated throughout this thing. When a government tells you it's the right thing to do, you need to really, really understand that it's probably not the greatest thing for you. It's the greatest thing for them. And for those of you who don't know me, I am an advocate of whatever your government tells you to do. Look at the opposite. It's probably a better option. I'm not saying do everything opposite the government says, but might as well look into it before you jump headlong into it. You stood on the top of a few kegs. Hey, all right, that's fine. It keg stands. That's right. That's why I do the handstand. I always tell people, my kids hate it when I do this. I tell people I can do a handstand. Like, you can't do a handstand to your toe, and then I stand on my fingertips. Yeah, it's a handstand. What? I'm a dad. I hear dad jokes all day. Wait a second. Oh, wait, out of high school. Oh, I thought you said $150,000 a month. I'm like, what's up, Rhonda? You paid $150 a month for a 1-bedroom furnished apartment with a garage. Damn. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me say it's 70. So I'm going to say what? I'm going to go with 75. So let's do this. We do this in real time. Again, if you don't know, by the way, that's intern Nugent, intern Beans, beautiful kids. We always ask Siri live, we test things, we fact check things, we check it out. So let me see this. Okay, so can we say 75, Rhonda? Is that just fair? We're just going to go mid 70s. Okay. What is the equivalent of $150 in 1975? $877. So basically, Rhonda, what that was you paying $877, but still. Could you imagine $877 for a furnished apartment? You can't find it right now. You can't. You just absolutely can't. There's no way. I still to this day manage 2 properties. They are paying wildly under market rent. It's because they're cool people. They pay in cash. They don't make a lot of noise. And I'm just like, dude, don't care. Don't care. I don't. And the guy who actually owns the property is like, we need to raise the rent. I'm like, okay, raise the rent, lose the tenant. Good job. But I'm telling you, there's a lot there. But yeah, so and you see where BlackRock is buying up everything. I think their goal is 2035 to essentially there is no private home ownership anymore. That's one of their deals. Mm-hmm. Are you going still, Brendan? Are you still on the kegs, buddy? Holy cow. Okay, one hand on the keg, one hand in the air, counting with your fingers, feet on top of the fridge, and biting the tap open. Damn. I pulled a muscle just visualizing that. Holy man. What's up, Gene? First apartment, 1974 is $140 a month. Yeah. So that even in San Fernando Valley. Valley, check you out. But that's kind of the same as what Rhonda was saying. So I mean, it's basically the same as like $800-900 right now. So that's 2-bedroom apartment in 89 paid $330 a month. I think y'all know in Arizona, I was by Superstition Springs Mall, not Superstition Springs, Fiesta Mall. That was it. Is that Fiesta Mall? Yeah, for Val Vista, whatever, off the 60. I was right there. That's where I was. That was my first apartment. Went $1,300 a month for a 2-bedroom and 2-car garage. You were not. 9 years ago, you were paying $1,300 for a 2-bedroom, 2-car garage in Cypress. In Cypress? Hey, if I went to high school in California, I would have gone to JFK. I would have gone to JFK High School. Yeah. Holy. Yeah, I was right up the road from you there. Where in Cypress? I got to find. You message me on that. Let me know what's going on. This is another news. Again, this is how we do the show. We do cover very hard-hitting topics. But we also want to talk about life and who we are and who you are and who I am, and just basically give everybody a breath. Give everybody a breath. We're going to be okay. We, the people, are the greatest group of people this world has ever known. Ever. Fine, we didn't build pyramids, but we all know the aliens did that anyway. That's right. We still rent in Phoenix. Been in the house for 8 years. Nice, man. Yeah. Best to take care of the place. And yeah, we have good owners. Basically, capped our rent years ago. Good for you, Brendan. Don't move. Don't let people, but you need to buy a house. You're throwing money away when you rent. Not anymore, you're not. Game changed. The whole game changed. And like Bean said, like intern Bean said, 4-bedroom, 2-bed. Damn, buddy, it's awesome. But like Bean said, if this election goes the way of the Harris, we are kind of hosed as far as being able to afford anything. And like Rhonda always says, it's a plan. It's all in the plan. This is a plan. This is nefarious as it gets. It just truly is. But all we can do is what I always tell you to do. Figure out how to adapt, figure out how to survive, figure out how to get ahead of the wave, and make sure that you're on the right side of it. And work hard on this. I would say this. I would say that in the next few days, and I'm just giving you this because I love you guys, and I really want to say, I've said it a couple times, I'll say it again. Next few days, hit Costco if you could, Sam's Club, whatever. Just get a few basics, get a few essentials. So when this does hit, before the October surprise, if this is felt moving to the west side of the country, if it is felt, then we'll be able to minimize. And if you could, some thoughts and prayers would be fantastic for all of those that were impacted on the East Coast, in the eastern part of the eastern 25% of the United States, South, from this hurricane, that now because of these unsympathetic punks, they're trying to shake down the entire nation, can't get their relief supplies. Can't get what needs to get shipped to them to rebuild their communities. They can't get it. We like to do this, and I hope Val's still around because I'm gonna try to play something for you. We like to end each show with what we call a decompression session. And I was a huge Dukes of Hazzard fan. I watched every episode of Dukes of Hazzard. I could do Dukes of Hazzard trivia. I love me some Dukes of Hazzard. So I watched it as a kid. I was probably overweight just because of all the giant plates of food and fried chicken and stuff Boss Hog would eat. I want a stack of fried chicken like that. I want a whole mess of fried chicken. I want a giant platter of ribs like that. I want to do that. And they were making fun of that. His name was Boss Hog, for the love of grief, and he ate like a hog. They're making fun of that whole just thought process. But as a kid, I'm like, I want that. I really do. So I blame any type of obesity I had on that. So in today's decompression session, as we like to end it, I actually saw a AI version of Dukes of Hazzard starring Donald John Trump and JD Vance. So if you could help me, I hope you're on there, Val, and you can help me, Rhonda, on this one. Here we go. Let's see if you can get this up for us. That would be fantastic. Hey, here we go.
Just a good old boy. Never meaning no harm.
Let's go.
Beats all you never saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills.
Woo! Come on.
Someday the mountain might get 'em, but the law never will.
Everybody sing. Here we go.
Making their way the only way they know how.
Come on. Hey.
That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Just a good old boy. Wouldn't change if they could. Fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood.
And there y'all go. Today's decompression session brought to you by one of the coolest, absolutely coolest TV shows ever made, and the glory of the internet. Oh, the internet is absolutely undefeated, and with AI, it just keeps getting better and better by the day. Take that, Gavin Newsom. All right, y'all. Hey, thanks for playing along. This has been a whole lot of fun. The Secrets from the Inside Radio Network is just something I'm very, very proud to be a part of. We're going to be doing my show at the same time every Wednesday, just like we do it Monday through Friday. But on Wednesday, we're going to be sharing it with two amazing people that are doing really great things. And I encourage you to get over to their YouTube channel and get over to their social media sites and jump on where you can hear a lot more of the content that's going on. Right? Okay. So anyway, until next Wednesday, this is In Other News. I am Mike Russell, and I look forward to playing with y'all again tomorrow, right here on In Other News, right here at noon and on Secrets from the Inside Radio Network, coming up next Wednesday. Val, we good? How do we do? Oh, wow, look at that. It's my Ion logo. I'm over here now. I love pushing buttons. Did I push that button? I don't know what I did. I'm going to say goodbye, everybody. I'm going to tune out. Signing off. But yeah, we'll get this all ironed out. I promise we will, including all the audio and stuff like that. Anyway, you guys.